What is going on, YouTube? It is FlopFish here, and welcome to the first episode of the FlopCast. Today we are going to be discussing some pretty cool topics to kick it off, and yeah, so let's get right into this. And first off, I'm going to start off with what the podcast is going to be like and the plans for it. So currently, it's pretty much just, whatever. It's about NHL hockey weekly. I posted up a weekly episode last week, and it was about 4 minutes long, and people wanted me to make it longer. And I've wanted to do a podcast for a while, and when I heard a lot of people wanting me to do something longer, I figured I'd do it. So played a few games of NHL and got some gameplay for it, and had to find some time. I've been pretty busy studying for exams and with essays and stuff due, but luckily some time freed up tonight, and yeah, so I'll be able to do this. Anyways, on to the fun stuff, which is talking about hockey and I guess the plans. So what I'm gonna do with this, hopefully, is get them up onto iTunes eventually, and hopefully you guys will download them or something like that. And yeah, they're always gonna be on YouTube. I'll have a playlist or something for them going, and with the new YouTube layout, it actually might work out okay. But hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to get some guests along and stuff, and if everything works out as planned, it's a completely new adventure for me, something that I kind of wanted to do and just never got around to doing it, or had the real motivation like I do now to do it. And hopefully you guys enjoy this, so please let me know if you like them. You get to watch about an hour of Chell gameplay, and then listen to me talk about hockey, which to me is pretty awesome. So yeah, today's topics we're going to discuss include the Coyotes, your obvious Luongo Schneider stuff, with me being a Canucks fan, and just kind of what's the ongoings of the league and the rookies and stuff. And yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get started after this nice little intro clip. And yeah, so let's go. So I figured the first gameplay would be a good one, considering it's the Canucks versus the Hawks. And we're going to be talking about Luongo and Schneider. And to me, this is one that hits real close to home, with me being a diehard Canucks fan, and me being a pretty hardcore Schneider fan, and me not really liking Luongo a lot. Now, when I say I don't like him a lot, I haven't liked him for a long time. I really haven't liked his playstyle since he came to Vancouver. When he's hot, don't get me wrong. When he's hot, he's the best goalie in the entire league. There's no denying that. And when he's not, though, he's kind of like not even backup potential worthy. He tends to have his moments, and whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but he's too streaky of a goalie for me, whereas Schneider's a really, really consistent goalie. And also, I like Schneider better in a shootout. That being said, Luongo was dominant today in the shootout, and his play of late has been absolutely stellar. He still flops down from time to time, like the goal Chicago scored. I really don't like how he flops down rather than just push across. I think he could make a few more saves that way, and that's one of the things I don't like about him. But yeah, so one of those nice little nitpicking things I can do. It's just the whole controversy. There isn't really one. Yes, Luongo's playing, but he's playing because A, it's a short season. B, if you're trading him, you have to play him because the other team's not going to want a guy who played 2-3 games coming in. And C, obviously they're going to have to start Schneider a few games because they have to get him ready too. I don't know, it's not too much of a controversy if you ask me. It's just they're waiting for the right suitor, if there is one. Maybe Luongo's just trolling us and he wants to stay now. I think everyone's kind of just acceptance of the fact that he wants to be traded, mainly because of the fans. But that's not a big deal. It's honestly, it's kind of cool to see the way everyone's handling it in Vancouver. You can obviously see, like, some of them, like Schneider's a little bit upset, but like he said, he's got to play better, and Luongo's playing like lights out right now, so obviously he's gonna get the job. and he knows that, and every goalie knows that, you know. And it's one of those things that both sides are handling it really well, and the coaching, the GM are handling it really well. It's just the media that's handling it horribly, and it's something that kind of annoys me, but not really. Now I've been asked quite a few times to discuss like trade values on them, and what I think is fair. And honestly, unless you're gonna get something like Gillis wants, I don't really see it being worthwhile trading him, especially this year. This year we need both goalies. End of story. We need both because it's a short season. If one gets injured, we're screwed because Eddie Lack is also done for the year. So that definitely puts a damper in a lot of the trades. That being said, what I expect in return is, like Kadri, Bozak, and a high pick. To me, it's what should come in return. Luongo's, he's not a bad goalie. He's still a pretty dang good goalie, as you can see. He's just, Schneider's proven he can play a little bit more consistently, although right now, like, it's not even like Schneider's been playing that bad right now. It's just the Canucks defense has been absolutely atrocious. And that's just one of the biggest problems to me. But yeah, so that's as far as a return. The Kadri Bozak second round pick or something like that. I actually like that trade, but some Leafs fans don't. But it is what it is. Obviously, both sides are going to try to get the best deal they can, and until that happens, neither side's really going to make it push for a deal. The other thing I really didn't like about Luongo before, but he's gotten a lot better, is his actual personality. Before, there's just something about him I didn't like, but now I kind of like enjoy his personality. He's having fun and he's enjoying it, and he's making fun of himself, and to me it's kind of a cool thing to see, especially someone of that kind of rank. Yeah, so as far as possible suitors for Luongo, what I see obviously Toronto. Other than Philly, I really don't see many other teams. Possibility in Edmonton, but I mean, Dubnik's been playing really well. And the Leafs goaltending hasn't been exactly that bad this year either. Honestly, the worst goaltending out of all the teams has to be the Flyers. But would they be willing to, fork up what it takes to get Luongo and then sell? Like, give up some of their top prospects. Like, they'll probably take Couturier and a couple other players in order to acquire Luongo. And are they really willing to spend a buyout on Brizgalov in the summer? I don't know about that. But yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. I hope Luongo doesn't get traded this year. Next year, all means they can trade him. After that, it's just, I don't know, it's going to be very interesting, especially the way they handle it, because he's playing really well. So obviously if they don't play him versus Edmonton, either way people are going to be saying Canucks are staging him, and that's going to be where managing them is going to come down, and that's a beauty goal right there, just saying. It's going to be how they manage him, and that's going to be the most important thing. But yeah, so aside from that, I really don't know what else to think about it, because one side of me really wants him to stay with the Canucks because he's been playing so well, and honestly the idea of having the two number one goalies is pretty dang good. As far as what we could get in return, I think we could get more for, right now we can get more for Luongo, but I think like any other day, when Luongo's playing average, we can get more for Schneider. And Canucks are kind of a short-term team to me. We maybe have 2-3 years or so, but it is what it is, like I said, and that's about all I'll go into about it, because other than that, it's just plain on rambling. Anyways, onto another topic, which is actually the Phoenix Coyotes. So if many of you haven't heard, Jim Jamison couldn't meet the deadline of the council or the city of Glendale, so the deal fell through, kind of, sort of, not really. But honestly, I really hope they keep Phoenix in there. And they do have fans. It's just the location of the arena is pretty horrible, to be honest. It's not exactly great. It's way out of downtown, and it's not a prime location for it. And the drive to it is you won't get a lot of fans just saying, "Oh, we're in town. Why don't we check this out for the night?" It's in a pretty sick complex. There's the casino. They opened up a mall. There's hotels there. There's lots of nice restaurants there, and it's something that if you ever get the opportunity to go to, highly suggest it. It is a ton of fun. And another thing which a lot of people don't see is they see, oh yeah, the attendance is low. It's low compared to the league. They're losing money, etc. The growth of youth hockey in Phoenix is absolutely phenomenal. The growth of hockey in the States since 2005, 2006, up until last year when the report came out, it was 15.6% in the States. Last year in Phoenix, they went up 12%, and for years 12 and under, the years where it matters, because you're not going to get your money from 30, 40-year-olds who haven't watched hockey for most of their life. You're going to get it from the 12-year-olds who grew up playing it and younger than that. That's where you're gonna get most of your revenue from. That's where they're gonna build most of their fan base from. And the actual amount of people playing hockey in Phoenix is insane. They grew 23% under 12 compared to previous years, and then for under 8 they grew 40%, which is a pretty big jump, when you think about it. And even Atlanta hasn't decreased per se, but they've always increased with the team there, and that's something that a lot of people forget to look at when they say, oh, the team's failing. They're not really failing yet. It takes a long time to grow fans into a team, especially one that didn't have a dedicated fan base before, or one that's not really in the kind of area of that sport. It's tough to judge, but I definitely think that Bettman is doing the right thing. If you look into a lot of the stuff he's been doing, especially from a business perspective, he's been honestly one of the best things that's happened to the league in a long, long time. He's definitely growing the game, something that a lot of people wouldn't think about, but I could see something more like expansion. But if the Coyotes hypothetically were to move, the only place I would like to see them go is Quebec City, and there's a few reasons behind that. One is Seattle isn't ready yet, and I honestly don't know how well an NHL team would do in Seattle. Although Markham, Ontario would be a good location too, nothing will replace Phoenix or Quebec City already had a fan base there. They have the building ready for it right now that they could hold it in for a couple years before they get a new stadium. And honestly, I almost think they kind of deserve one again, because the only reason why they lost their team is the Canadian dollar was so low, and it's kind of a tough pill to swallow. But once again, it is what it is. As far as relocation, I don't see it happening. I don't see any relocation happening. I actually see expansion of a more likely of an option. Expansion would actually reduce or remove all of the debt, especially if you expand one team into Markham and one team into Quebec City, or one team into Seattle and Quebec City. You're going to see a drastic reduction or you're going to see an increase in league profits, which is absolutely huge. Whenever you're making more money, it's a good thing, right? So you're going to see an increase in that, and you're going to see a decrease in those smaller markets doing bad, because they're going to get subsidized a little bit from the big teams making the big bucks. And studies don't lie. Typically, for the past few years, it's been like six or eight teams, depending on how you look at it, that have been carrying the revenue of the NHL. It's 5 original sixes and the Vancouver Canucks. I'm pretty sure it goes like Toronto, Boston, Montreal, New York, Canucks, and I forget the other team in there. Detroit's up there and Chicago's up there, but they've been the ones behind the league, and driving it forwards a lot. And you know, the kind of money they're making is absolutely ridiculous compared to the rest. They make a fair percentage of it. I think like this top 6 teams make like, I forget what percentage of it. It was close to 30 or more than 30, which is pretty big when you think about it, because you're talking about millions of dollars. But yeah, so like I said, expansion probably a better option. I don't know if we'll see it happen, but you never know. It could happen. I could see it happening, honestly, in 3 years. Expansion is a definite possibility, and it's a venture, or a kind of a path I'd like to see the NHL take right now. It's a bit of a riskier one per se, but you know Quebec's going to do well no matter what, and odds are another Ontario team, especially Markham, or even Seattle, they'll probably do okay, and they won't. Seattle's kind of the only one I could see, but other than that, you know, after that you have not many locations left. You have Las Vegas, which I honestly don't see doing really well, and then you have Kansas City and Connecticut. I'd say would be the only other two, but other than that, you know, it's pretty tough. They're kind of at their max level of places they can put an NHL arena and an NHL team, and there's just a couple more that would be nice to see, but who knows if that'll happen. Only time will tell. And yeah, on to the next favorite thing, and something that I think really needs to be addressed, and it is the officiating in this year. Is it just me, or did we hire the replacement refs from the NFL to ref ice hockey? They've been absolutely horrible. I know they've been told to be more strict, and there's a couple new rules that are pretty stupid if you ask me. But I mean, like, the Backus penalty wasn't a penalty, and that's just as a result of the league being overprotective on hits. Once again, I will get into a rant about that if I can. So I'll try to avoid that, because I don't support half of the headshots, but I think 3/4 of them are mainly on the player with the puck's fault, not the player hitting them. Yeah, so if you didn't see the penalty on David Backus today, it was pretty garbage. He got a 5-minute major for checking to the head, and A, the ref didn't see it, B, he never made contact with the head, which yeah, I think that explains it enough. And then C, yeah, it wasn't even late. Yeah, it's annoying, because, you know, you're watching a hockey game, especially this new, like, hand covering rule. To me, it's absolutely stupid. It's just disrupting the flow of the game. There's a lot of times where it's just like, what? It's like the hand off the face-off, too. Like, sometimes the players fall on it. It happened a couple of times where the players just fell and their hand hit it, and they got penalties for it. Like, it's just stupid. It completely disrupts the flow, and honestly, they're meaningless penalties. 99% of the time, they're gonna get it anyways. They'll just find a different way to get around it. And as much offense as it creates, I don't think it's a huge boost. Yeah, like, I don't know if you guys watched a lot of NHL. I think you can kind of see where I'm coming from when I say the reffing has been absolutely garbage. It's just because it's been brutal to watch. It's been kind of brutal to, like, as a fan of any team, and there's a lot of calls that just make you, like, sit there and, like, what? Like, why is that a penalty? But then there's some that like clearly are penalties that aren't being called. And to me, the league just, there's so many double standards in it, and they need a new rule book, in all honesty. But I think I'm actually gonna have a shorter version of the podcast this week, guys. I really don't have a ton to talk about, and I don't really know what to expect. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna end it at this game here. Still have a couple more to kind of play through, but once again, guys, if you enjoyed this, please leave a rating. I really want to see how you guys enjoy this, and like I said, it's definitely something I want to do. I just need to know what you guys want to see, and just kind of get a feel and go off in that direction, because I do want to do this more not only for myself but for you guys. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Take it easy. Peace out. I'll be having regular content out as normal starting Sunday, and yeah, see you guys then. Peace out and take it easy.